Hi everyone, my name is Glenn Bartley and welcome to another video blog. I'm here tonight in Victoria in my apartment and just getting ready, doing some final last minute preparations for tomorrow's trip to Brazil, which should be an amazing adventure. I'll be down there for the next month, traveling around the southeastern Atlantic rainforests and doing what I do, trying to find birds and photograph them. So just doing some last minute preparations here. I've got my field guide to the birds of Brazil and a bird watching guide to southeastern Brazil. Got songbirds of South America and this Brazilian Portuguese phrase book, which I've not used enough. As you will see, my Portuguese will be terrible. But I just thought I'd film this because it's really important before going on a trip like this to do your homework, read through as much as you can do, try to get familiar with the birds and maybe some of their calls, try to understand what birds are going to be at the different forests and the different lodges that you might visit. I always prepare an information document that does exactly that, tells me how to get places, where to stay, what birds I'm likely to see. But this is all a big part of getting the photos of these birds, is this preparation that goes back for months, and we'll see how it all goes over the next month. So thanks for following along, and I hope you'll enjoy this video.
When the daylight comes, do you feel it? Leave your bag of bones underneath your bed. Everything is as it should be. I'm leaving now, as I should be. No way, no way. No, we're never gonna talk about it. No way, no way. No, we're never gonna speak again. No way, no way. No, we're never gonna talk about it. No way, no way.
All right, bienvenido a Brazil. We're here now in Brazil. I'm here with my trusty travel amigo, Dubi. He's filming right now. You'll see him later. But we're in Sao Paulo and immediately picked up our rental car and are stuck in traffic. So hopefully not a sign of things to come, but the trip is underway. We're on our way to Intervales State Park, which should be a great place to spend a few days, and hopefully we'll have lots of good bird photos before too long, as soon as we get out of Sao Paulo in this traffic. So we've been in Brazil for about an hour. First traffic ticket. Good job. Good job, man. We broke our record from Peru.
Not gonna be surprised if you're gonna end up with another 20 at the end of the day.
Probably. All right, so we've arrived here at Intervales State Park. It's a long day of driving, a lot of traffic, ticket for not having any Brazilian money going through the toll booth, and a few missed turns, but we made it. By the time we got here, it was pretty much dark, so there wasn't much daytime shooting left, but after a little break and unpacking, managed to come out, and right away I found a Stygian owl, which is quite a rare bird in South America. I'd never seen one, Dubi never seen one, and sure enough, there's one just down the road there who was camped out on a branch and let us get some great photos. So it's a wonderful start to the trip, pretty excited about that, and also excited for sleeping after traveling for about 40 straight hours. So hopefully that's a good omen, a good sign for what's to come the next month. Alright, so we're here in Intervales. Dubi's working on a rare species, the black-cheeked gnat-eater. We've got our guide here, Luis, and he's...
Hey, we're not gonna see it. In your dreams.
Your dreams, you're the one playing it.
I'm playing it for you.
Oh, muito obrigado. We're having a good time here in Intervales, trying to find some good birds, and hopefully something's going to pop out of the forest before too long. We had no dinner last night. Now we're here at this barbecue. We're going to just take everything para llevar. It's going to be good. Alright, so last night we skipped dinner. We were in the field all day and too tired to drive down to the town for dinner. So we've discovered a new delicacy here. Brazilians love their meat and their barbecue. We got meat on a stick and a Coke. Muy rico. So this is pretty typical of birding in the Neotropics. Walking around the forest, walking around these big open trails, just listening for things, trying to find anything that might be calling or feeding or hunting or doing something. And sometimes you find something, you can use a little bit of playback to get the bird to respond and come closer. Sometimes it works. Today, not so much. Only one photo of a really nice brassy-breasted tanager. All right, so it's our second day in Intervalles Park now. We've had some great birds, some good success. Today was a tough day, really tough light. We were in the field yesterday for 15 hours all day, looking for owls at night. Today we're grinding it out again. So it's time for a little break. We've got a fruit feeder set up over here. Got some bananas, we've set up some branches, should be some good action. And we've got the local beer. Karaku! Let's have a little taste here. Muy bem! All right, so we've concluded our time in Intervalles now. We had a great 4 days there, photographing all kinds of different species. We had some really good luck with quite a few things. Now we're moving on to the next destination, Ubatuba. Should be a great spot. There's some good locations with fruit feeders and hummingbird feeders. We should get some good stuff. It's gonna be a long day driving. To drive across Sao Paulo, which is a city of, I don't even know how many million people, but it's gonna be a long day of driving, but our next destination should be great. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just down here now in a town called Ubatuba, or nearby to Ubatuba, and just basically on this area called Folha Seca, searching around the habitat here for just anything really. It's a kind of what I would call more of a trolling mission, just walking around, listening for birds, doing a little bit of playback, see if anything responds, see if anything comes close, and hopefully some things will come down from the treetops and perch somewhere nice, or maybe you can do a quick little setup somewhere in the forest and try to get some good shots. So you've seen a lot of videos here on this in this blog about doing setups, which is certainly one part of tropical photography, and it's a part that I really enjoy. But another great part is just being out in the forest, wandering around, having no idea what you're going to find, and you hear a bird call like that. If you know what it is, try a little playback, see if he comes down. If you don't know what it is, you can try to record him, see if he might come down. But it's all part of the game down here in the tropics, trying to photograph these birds. You got to have a lot of different tools in your toolbox if you're going to be successful. So give it a try next time you're down here. So we're here in Ubatuba, Brazil. It's a coastal town, and we actually just stopped in for a little lunch at this restaurant and found that they're over here feeding all these beautiful birds. Now the place where they had the feeder was terrible. Luckily, we had some stands with us and we're able to do a quick setup here, just with some papaya and bananas, and sure enough, all these beautiful redneck tanagers and green-headed tanagers are coming down and landing on our branch, and we're able to get some great shots. So sometimes, you know, even any place, doesn't have to be right out in the middle of the nowhere in the forest to get great photos. Sometimes you can get great photos literally right in a restaurant. So I'm gonna go take some more. All right, man, how do you think the trip's going so far? We've been down here for about 8 days. What's your opinion?
The cerveza is not bad.
The cerveza is good. The birds have been pretty good to us. We've got some, as always, some targets that you get. We've been doing really well on tanagers and hummingbirds. Not as well on owls. Only the Stygian owl was cooperative. And we're searching for hard birds now in the understory, mostly unsuccessfully. We did get the red-crowned ant tanager. No. Man,
What is that? That's
just making
from
up
South Africa.
What did we get? The flame-crested tanager this morning, and a few antbirds in vain, the scaled antbird and the ferruginous antbird, both of which didn't really cooperate, but we'll keep trying. That's all you can do. And maybe go and shoot some more hummingbirds at a feeder, because that will at least boost our confidence a little bit.
Yeah, every time we do bad with the adverbs, we just move to multi-flash.
And life is good again. So Intervalis was quite difficult shooting conditions. We had to hike around a lot. One day we were in the field 15 hours hiking. Different story today. Cafe. Got a little cake here, delicious, fresh out of the oven. And I don't even need to look through my camera because I have my remote set up for multi-flash. Life could be worse. Obrigado. Okay, so been in Brazil for about a week now. I thought it was time to check in with some observations about Brazil and Brazilians. The first thing, they love. Obrigado. They love buffets. Everywhere you go, buffets, and they love meat. Lots of meat. The second thing, people love to give the thumbs up. Everybody's all about thumbs up. Anything you do. Obrigado. And the third thing is a lot of people like to say oi and opa. So these are 3 observations from a week in Brazil. Good things to learn.
Vai.
Listo. Isso. Listo. Para el vídeo. Listo. Muito bom.
Okay.
Hey. Alright, so we finished up with our 3rd location there, Ubatuba, and we're on our way to our 4th location here, Parque Nacional do Itatiaia. And as a matter of fact, we just pulled up to the gate. Parque Nacional do Itatiaia. Should be a good couple of days. So I'm here in Itatiaia National Park, and I'm just strolling along actually the dirt road up here. You know, people often think, I think, when it comes to wildlife photography, that you spend all your time on these dark trails in the middle of the forest. Sometimes you do for some of the difficult species that don't come out. But often when you're out in nature, and especially in these parks that don't have a lot of vehicle traffic, I haven't seen any cars go by. I've been walking for about an hour. These are the best places to be for photography anyways, because you have some light, you have a clearing, you have an edge, you have some open branches, you have places where you might actually be able to get a decent photo. When you go down in there, it gets a lot more difficult, and oftentimes you wind up getting a lot of exercise but not much else. So I'm just wandering along the road here, listening for things, and as it turns out, I hear right over here a white-barred piculet. So I'm going to try to do a little setup here now, get some playback going, hopefully find a few nice branches, and if luck is on my side, maybe I'll get a few good shots. Okay, so here we are in Itatiaia National Park, and got another feeder setup going on here at one of the lodges here. I'll just walk up to it and show you what's going on here. We've got just a small fruit tray here. People have been putting out fruit, and we've got this really nice perch set up here. So the idea obviously is that the birds will come in, land on the branch, and then jump down to the fruit. And we've had some good success already this morning with the saffron toucanet, so hopefully a few more will come in. So this is the bush for the frilled coquette. He likes coming to these little flowers here. Unfortunately, he's not that regular. He comes in once every 20 minutes to an hour. So it's definitely an exercise in patience and frustration, trying to wait and hoping that he's going to come in and feed at some of these little flowers. Been at it now for about half an hour, haven't seen him, but hope he's going to come back soon and be able to nail a few shots. Alright, so I'm up here now in the upper part of Itatiaia National Park, quite a bit higher than we were yesterday down in the lower parts, 2 different separate sections. You probably can see behind me it's pretty foggy. Up in the higher elevation here we've got some fog to deal with, which is not great for photography. It makes getting backgrounds really difficult. You often have kind of pale, washed out backgrounds, if not white. and sometimes it's just too foggy even to shoot, but hopefully the fog is going to lift a little bit. We've already seen some good birds this morning, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get our lenses on a few of them as the day goes on, but in any case, it's a beautiful place to be up in this higher elevation forest, and lots of good birds to be found, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so another observation about Brazil here, driving around this country, one thing you're going to get a lot of are these little empanadas. Every truck stop, every roadside stand, empanadas. Lots of different types, different flavors. None of them are too exciting, but they're not too bad, but you get sick of them after a month. The other observation are the napkins. They're a joke. They're literally thinner than toilet paper, and that's all they give you, one little sheet that's crumples up into nada. This is an unfortunate reality of driving through Rio to get to our next destination. Lots and lots of traffic. What do you think about this situation, my friend?
I'm starting to miss Bolivia, where we had no traffic. We were the only car on the road.
Now, not so much. I don't know how many people live in Rio, but there's a lot, and the roads are inadequate for the number of cars. A truck full of books flipped over, and this is why we've been stuck in traffic for the last hour.
Wow, man, look at the truck.
Yep, there it is. Lots of books. Free books. Free books for everyone. Free books.
Dance and tell. We live in cities you'll never see.
So this is one of those days where you don't have to walk very far or look very hard for your birds. You can see our room here right behind us, and 40 feet in front of me is a spot-billed toucanet that we're photographing. I'll swing the camera around. I don't know if you'll be able to see him up there. He's right up in those fruits there. So pretty amazing opportunity here. Alright, so we just nailed the giant ant shrike, which is a really tough bird actually to get even good looks at, let alone good photos. That was pretty awesome. Now, on a bit of a death march up the Pico de Caledonia to see what else we might be able to find up here. Heard some other birds calling. Black and gold cotinga, large-tailed ant shrike, and there's supposedly gray-winged cotingas up here, so let's see what we can find. Alright, so we're here now in Tres Picos National Park, just outside of Rio, and kind of spending a lot of time out on the trails working some of the tougher birds the last few days. Black-cheeked gnat-eater, we're working on a rufous-capped ant thrush right now. Hopefully I'll show you some pictures in a minute. And yesterday had that amazing giant ant shrike. So it's really kind of fun to get away from the feeders. It's slower and a lot of failed efforts, but when you do get one of these tough understory birds up on a perch or in a nice open clearing, it really is worthwhile. Doobie, you think this stream creeper is going to show up?
Maybe next year, man. Maybe for your workshops. It's not gonna happen, but at least they have internet here. Or maybe I wish there was internet.
So I'm just here up in the upper reaches of Itachaya National Park here, getting up above or up near the tree line here now. And there's actually, I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's a bunch of chip, 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 chip. And that's actually a lek of a hummingbird called the plover crest. Beautiful hummingbird with a long, spiky headdress, and they're bouncing around all in here, so we're trying to get some cool shots of them, and hopefully I'll show you one in just a minute here, but really stunning bird. A lot of people would never think that hummingbirds would lek too, which a lek is an area where a bunch of males get together to display to try to attract females. So pretty cool behavior here. up in this beautiful area of Itatiaia National Park, and the sun is shining, which is actually a little bit too bright, but can't complain up here. So as I've mentioned a few times before, I think, sometimes just sitting around feeders and just hanging around the lodge is just not enough to get it done. For some species, you've got to get out there and hike and search and trek and put in some serious effort to get the birds you're after. And on this trip we've done quite a bit of that, quite a bit of hiking around, trekking, searching for birds, but it can be some of the most rewarding photos you'll ever get because you really feel like you had to work hard for them. So don't be afraid to get out there and chase after the birds you really want.
Hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling, hustling.
Alright, so I'm here now in a totally different habitat in southeastern Brazil. Obviously, as you can see behind me, a big wetland complex, and just looking for any kinds of different birds, masked water tyrant, there's some different spine tails, obviously ducks, and things like gallinules, jacanas, all kinds of birds. Very open area, lots of birds to be found, so just going to wander around this wetland for the afternoon here and see what we can find. So I'm down here now in the lowland forests around Rio de Janeiro area and searching for all kinds of birds. The problem is the last few days have been extremely sunny and very hot. It's supposed to be 38, 39 degrees today. It's very humid. And usually when it's hot on us, but it's also hard on the birds. And they're just not as active, not as out, and inside the forest here like this, the light is just very patchy, very hard to work with. So it hasn't been the most productive couple of days. Still some good shots, but I find on these kinds of trips, a lot of people think, oh, a sunny day is great for photography. That's going to be wonderful. You got great pictures. But it really couldn't be further from the truth. Sun is really not your friend when you're down in the tropics and trying to photograph birds inside the forest. So when you're on these tropical trips, pray for clouds. So just in this little spot of forest here is a white-bearded manakin lek. You can probably hear all the birds calling and displaying. There's probably about 5 or 10 males in this little area, and a few females are coming in to check them out as they do their little dance, I guess. Pretty cool to see, just in this little spot here.
Well, we're on vacation. What do you mean?
This is a vacation?
Yeah.
You're kidding me?
It's all green all around, man, with palm
That's
trees.
true. That's true. We're out here in a little bit north of Rio de Janeiro looking for the giant snipe. So far, no sign, but we're optimistic, and then we're going to go look for some owls. We'll see how it turns out. But apparently, we're on
I
vacation.
dragged you here for the giant snipe.
That's true.
Glenn was not too excited about this snipe, but I forced him.
It's a team. It's a team effort here. We'll see what we get. Well, we had a bit of a frustrating morning. We drove up this road and hiked all day, hiked all morning, but basically not really any great photos. Sometimes that's how it goes. But as they say, even the worst day bird watching or bird photographing is better than a lot of days you could have. Did find a beautiful waterfall, went for a swim, and had a nice hike. What do you think of the morning, Doobie?
Yeah, I got my Salvadori's.
You got a life first, Salvador's
Yeah, so
this video is probably going to be
well
so
worth
shaky.
it.
But anyways, not the best morning for photography, but still a great day in Brazil, and we'll see what the afternoon brings. Okay, so we're on a serious road trip today. We're leaving the forests, the rainforests around Rio de Janeiro area, and we're heading inland. We're going to drive about 700 kilometers today inland to an area called Sipo. And basically we're going to be we're changing ecosystems. We're driving inland to more of a grassland type ecosystem, and we're going to be looking for a few endemic birds. In Sipo, we're especially going to be after the hyacinth visor bearer. And after Sipo, we're going to drive about another 500 kilometers to an area called Canastra, and we're going to be looking for some other endemic birds there. Hopefully we'll see the Brazilian merganser and lots of other cool stuff. So changing ecosystems, serious road trip the next week. We got to do probably about 2,000 kilometers this week, and hopefully we'll find some good birds and see some new things and get some more good photos. This is how you do a mid-traffic switch. Switcheroo!
And the driver in the back is not too happy about this.
So this afternoon I'm just wandering around Sipo National Park here, and you may notice I don't have my tripod with me. I've got lots of sunlight, nice bright light, and sometimes it's just nice not to carry a tripod. I usually 99% of the time have a tripod. This afternoon I decided just to wander around with my camera on my shoulder. Got lots of light, lots of shutter speed, and just basically wandering around this open area looking for birds. I just had some streamer-tailed tyrants that posed nicely for me, and there's lots of birds starting to come out here at the end of the day, so just going for a stroll through the Sipo National Park here and hoping to come up with a few more shots. So just wandering around here now, up in Cerro do Sipo. You can see it's really wide open, really beautiful area actually. Lots of little flowers everywhere, these little rocky outcroppings, really cool vegetation. So the hunt is on now for the hyacinth visor bearer. Beautiful hummingbird, endemic to this area. And I've seen a couple flying around, but haven't got the lenses on any of them yet. But hopefully before the morning is through, we'll have some shots of them. Alright, so up here on Cerro do Sipo, sun is up, beautiful morning here, and we just found the yellow-billed bluefinch, which is a beautiful little finch that works these open areas, likes to land on rocks. So we did a little setup here, just found a natural rock, placed the speaker near the rock, and we're able to get him right up on the top of the rock, just where we wanted him here. But you can see the habitat around here, really open. Oh, there's a white-collared swift. You probably won't be able to see that in the video, but beautiful habitat. And just down here was our little setup on the top of that rock there. So I'll show you this photo in just a second. Alright, we're on our way now to the final site of the trip. Finished up with Sipo and are now on our way to Canastra National Park, a huge grassland area, and we'll hope to pick off a few final species for the trip, and then back to Rio for a couple of relaxing days and call it a journey. So as you can probably see, it is raining. We're here in Canastra National Park, driving down a bumpy road, and it's not the best weather day. We had an interesting morning actually doing some multi-flash photography in an old couple's yard right in the town of Vargem Bonita, which was sort of an interesting experience. But the afternoon's not looking too promising. So we have 2 more days here, so all is not lost. The challenge here is that the upper part of the park, where most of the interesting stuff is, the road apparently is in really bad condition, so we're not going to be able to go up there in this car. So we're trying to find a guide or a 4x4 that we can rent, and hopefully we'll be able to make something happen and get some photos here, because it's an amazing area, it's an amazing place, but we need to be having a car to get up there. We'll see how it turns out. Today's been a wet one. We were sitting here in the the lovely town of São Roque de Minas, and it's been pouring rain all day. We came all this way to try to visit Canastra National Park, and we haven't even gotten in there yet because first day we realized we needed a 4x4 car, and then today it just poured all day. The forecast for tomorrow is not looking that great either, so it's been a pretty chilled out day. We're here in town now. It's having dinner at this pretty empty restaurant. Luckily we have a deck of cards. We're gonna play some crib. Doobie is down 2-0 so far, and after our humiliating
It's because of the rain.
After our humiliating loss at the pool table last night, we at least one of us will be a winner tonight. So anyways, this is how it goes sometimes. We've had a good trip so far. We haven't really lost any days to weather, but we may not get much shooting in for the rest of the trip. We'll see how it goes. All right, buddy, what's going on here?
They're all fake, made in China, looking for a real Brazilian one.
We're gonna have a showdown here. The locals, para...
You play this.
Okay.
You know, yours is the impares. Nosotros pares.
Okay. Okay, so ours is the black, the ones with the black on the inside. Okay, vamos.
1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, if you play this, if you play him, yeah, put in.
¿Cuántos reais? ¿Cuánto dinero?
Many $1 million.
So this is the final photo mission of the trip here. This is our last day in the field. We're in Canastra National Park. We've had 3 days of pouring rain, been basically stuck in the hotel for the last 3 days. And finally we were able to get out. In this park, the roads are terrible. It's going to start getting bumpy here soon. The roads are terrible to go into the park, so we've had to hire a driver and a 4x4. And we're going to head on up into the park and see if we can find some of the great birds that live in this ecosystem. Alright, so we're up here in Canastra National Park. Finally, we get some decent weather to get out here and get shooting. We have a nice, well, it's a little bit maybe too foggy earlier today, but we've got some nice clouds. So far, the bird of the day, the cock-tailed tyrant, if you can believe that, or as the local word is, the gallito. And we also learned a new word for the very common rufous-collared sparrow, the tiki-taki. So, all in all, not a bad morning. So, in some of our past travels, perhaps some of you watched my Bolivia video blog and you remember that our cuisine and our coffee was terrible. Often traveling in the Andes, we were pretty much reliant on Nescafe, and both Doobie and I had enough on this trip. Now, both of us had enough, and we both brought our own types of making coffee. Doobie brought plug-in electric espresso maker. I brought something called the AeroPress. So what we're going to do now is in the field coffee challenge. So let me show you how to make a coffee here with the AeroPress. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. So all we need to do is step 1, get a little filter out of here. Okay. Put the filter in the cap. Put the cap onto the receptacle here. And then we're just going to pour some good old nabob in here. I don't have a measuring device, so I'm just going to go with, that looks perfect. Okay. Now, all we need, we've got an official Canon mug. Put this on here, and we've just got hot water in the thermos. Hopefully it's still good and hot. And then we just pour that in there like that. Now the beauty of the AeroPress is that the filter is so fine that you don't get a lot of grinds in your coffee. So let's see here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Much better than the Nescafe that we're used to drinking. You gotta really work for it. All right.
That's all, man. That looks like a recipe for disaster.
Okay, so there's one done. Now, we're gonna give our friend here, our guide, a taste of this and see what he thinks. Okay, mi amigo. Sí, está bien.
Bueno,
Rico?
sim.
El sabor?
Sabor, faltou açúcar.
Falta azúcar, okay.
Muito bom.
Muito bom, okay. Now let's try doobies.
Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna come up with the Israeli style cappuccino. I hope the driver's gonna like it, because otherwise
He's the judge.
he's just gonna.
He
take
looks
us-
skeptical of
he's
your
just gonna take
preparation
us,
methods there.
back home.
He's watching you like a hawk.
Amigo, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué pienso?
Okay, so you got the coffee in the little percolator, the water's in there,
He's gonna
plugging it into the
switch.
car,
Yeah? ¿Ya podemos?
and now we have to wait 10 minutes for your coffee. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna
I
have
don't
lunch.
see any lights. Todavía no.
Oh, here.
What an embarrassment. I mean, it's not even working. No hay café.
While Doobie's trying to make his coffee, I'm just gonna enjoy mine. He's gonna be a while. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna be sipping on my delicious AeroPress coffee. It's so good. It's got no coffee. I have a delicious coffee. Doobie's machine did not work. Clearly, I have been crowned the winner of the coffee challenge, the Canastra Coffee Challenge, and my prize is that I get to make everybody else a cup of coffee. So I don't mind. I don't mind. So here's one for you, my friend.
Muito obrigado.
De nada.
I still miss my coffee. I mean, I have no choice but to drink yours. Oh man, I miss my cappuccino already.
All right, so this is our final stop. We're just turning around, heading back to town. That road continues on to who knows where. Our road travels back to Rio. It's been a great trip here in Brazil. So many amazing memories of all these fantastic birds we've seen, from the very first, right from the get-go, Stygian owl, to the redneck tanager, the amazing spot-billed toucanet, the giant antshrike, just so many great birds we've seen and photographed. Amazing country Brazil is, wonderful people, great food, even though a lot of buffets. And just, it's been a great trip. So thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you'll tune in to more videos on my channel here on YouTube, and check out my website for lots more photos.
Like I didn't know it, choking on the pulp of it, simplified. You kept me on your long line, tugging it the whole time. Keep shining on, and that silent head grip can't do it no more. Honey been the poison, it's telling you there's a contact. Ooh, damn, you're right. You had that one long time.